Welcome back to Matters of Faith. I'm Christiana Backer, and with me in the studio is Dr. Jürgen Micksch, who is very active in inter-religious dialogue in Europe. Now, 2008, last year, was the year of international dialogue in Europe, officially. Could you tell us a little bit about this project?
Well, I think it was very important that the European institutions say intercultural dialogue is something very important for the European society.
Yes.
So they tried to support intercultural projects all over Europe, and I think it was an important sign in Europe. Also, our institution, the Intercultural Council, was happy because the so-called Abrahamic teams were supported from the European Commission in this year. And we had 24 events all over Germany where Jewish, Christian, Muslim persons went together to schools, to other events, to universities, to discuss what is common and different in Jewish, Christian and Muslim religion.
And this happened all over Europe?
And yes, well, no, our project was only in Germany, but the intercultural year of dialogue was a project of all over Europe of the European Union.
Yes, and what happened at the European level? I mean, were there specific initiatives, new legislations, or what?
Well, that
took place?
Would be fine. No, it was just that in the different countries there were some special art projects or school happenings, or the governments made some special events. Well, this is not too important because things have to go deep in society, and it was important to have this subject as a subject on the European level. And for example, in Germany, we used that for the Intercultural Week at the end of September. That is an event, we have it only in Germany, not in other European countries, which was instituted by the churches in the 70s. And now we have, at the end of September, more than 3,000 such events, especially in church communities, with trade unions, with other religious groups, with groups of foreigners to meet together, as the logo and the idea of this project here is to know more from each other. That's the idea, to know more from each other and to become friends. That's the Intercultural Week.
Really, and that's interesting. I mean, in the Quran, you know, there's a verse that says God could have made everybody the same, but he actually made everybody into tribes so that we know one another, so we get to know one another. And there are several verses like that, and in the end everybody will be judged according to their own law and own rules. But this getting to know one another is such a key and importance, because yeah, we're not all the same, and this is in fact one of the great challenges of our day and age. So you took up that theme. Exactly.
You see that's this Arab word, you mentioned it in the beginning, that the man hates what he doesn't know.
Yes.
So if we know each other, and the idea was especially to foreigners who came from Italy and from Spain and from Morocco and Turkey, if you meet other persons in good relations, then things will become much better. You can become an atmosphere of cooperation, of peace, of understanding. And an atmosphere in which you can solve conflicts, because it's normal if you have people of different origin that you have conflicts.
You even have conflicts amongst people of the same origin.
Of course, of course. And what we can learn is that we can use such conflicts to make a chance out of them.
Yes.
So I'm just preparing a book on that subject about anti-Muslimic racism in Germany, and the subtitle is From Conflict to Chance.
Yes.
So we have, for example, problems in Germany with if Muslims want to build a mosque. You have usually groups who are against this.
Yes. Why? What are their reasons?
Well, there are a lot of reasons. People are afraid that in their village there is suddenly a mosque. They are not used to that. Well, the whole picture of the village is something else for them.
Yeah.
Then they have the feeling that their village and Germany and Europe become a Muslimic country or Islamic continent. Well, and then there are fears because they especially don't know something about Islam.
Would they be happy with the synagogue, do you think? Or would it be the same objection?
Well, synagogue is something special because of the German history. But they are also against the synagogue. And we have also the problems that, for example, in the city of Bebra, the Christian Orthodox wanted to build a church, and people were also against this because it were Syrian Orthodox members from Turkey, so they are a bit foreign-looking persons, and they didn't want to have them also, if they are Christians, in their city. So it's not only a problem with Muslims, but with Muslims it's much deeper, and there you have also the argumentation, they are Muslims, we don't have a mosque, we don't have Muslims in this society, and well, these are only few persons, and it's very important that the mayor of the city and that the government and that the churches say, well, we are in favor of this mosque.
Good.
And it is important that the people of the mosque go to the society and say, well, what they are doing, what they are planning, who is financing that, etc.
Perhaps even inviting some people from, Christians and Jews to the mosque and show them this is what's going on, this is what we do, etc.
So in this intercultural week, we have at the end the Day of the Mosque. That's a day near around the 3rd of October every year, where more than 1,000 mosques in Germany are open, and people of the environment, neighbors, are invited to go to the mosque to learn more, and that's very important to get a better atmosphere and better understanding.
That's interesting. Do you know, there was a new study that just came out that showed that I think 40% of Muslims who were checked by the police said they were checked not because they were Muslims, but because they are of a different ethnicity. They have a different culture, they look different. I wonder, so I mean, this would indicate, that there is a form of racism, perhaps more so than religious anti-Islamophobia, What do you think? Do you find that in your...
You see, racism has different faces.
Yes.
If you look back to the German history of the last centuries, you can see at the end of the 60s, we had something like a racism against Italians. In the meantime, they are fully accepted.
Yes.
At the end of the 70s, there was racism against the Turks. In the middle of the 80s, we had the feelings that the blacks are not well accepted, and we had racism against blacks. At the end of the 80s, this were the asylum seekers, and now the main group are the people who look like Turks, Moroccans, people who could be Muslim, and this is especially since the 11th of September that people have the impression they make problems to our society, we don't want them, and at that moment different research projects show that the racism against Muslim is the biggest problem we have in Germany and in other European countries.
Really, I see. And what do you think is also racism? One indication that racism perhaps is growing is that there's the right-wing parties are growing on a European level in general.
Of course, you could see that in the European elections, right-wing parties, that means xenophobic,
yes,
racist parties,
yes,
have won all over Europe,
yes,
but not in Germany.
really.
And I think this can be also a result of politics we have just now.
Mm-hmm. How are the developments on the level of education, I wonder?
One of our projects are the so-called Abrahamic teams, teams of Jewish, Christian, Muslim persons, experts, who go to schools to speak about what is common and what is different in these three religions. And we are very happy to see that this idea, we have in the meantime more than 200 such events in the last year, since 2001. And many schools do it by their own. They invite Jewish persons to speak with them about the history, about the Nazi time. They invite imams to go with the imam to the mosque to know what is happening in a mosque, because many people fear just to go into a mosque. So schools are a very important place, but not only the religious education. Also, the children have to learn that in algebra, for example, we have learned much from the Islamic world.
Of course, so many sciences.
Painting, calligraphy, is coming from.
Yes.
Or in music, if you look to the music from Muslimic countries or Jewish countries, klezmer music, and so etc. So it is important in all the different subjects of schools that children learn we are belonging together, we are one world, and it's stupid to have racist and xenophobic ideas. But also, if you do it in schools, racism and xenophobia is in a multicultural society a reality, and you will have it also in future, but you can do something against.
Thank you very much, Dr. Micksch. That was absolutely fascinating. I really appreciate you joining us on Matters of Faith, and I wish you the very best for your dialogue activities and cooperation activities, that they continue successfully in promoting understanding and the coming together of religions and, of course, of people. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again very soon on Matters of Faith. Goodbye. Peace be with you.